So you may notice it's a little bit different today, and that is because we're shooting this at home. My kids are sick, and that means that I have to be here, which means I can't be in the studio, but that doesn't mean we can't do a tutorial. And today we're going to be looking at the Beeple collection that is in the Metaverse and how you can view it, because it's actually spread out across not one, but 4 different metaverses. There's Decentraland, there's the Sandbox, there's Somnium, and there's Cryptovoxels. Now, the Sandbox museum is not available to view yet, but the other 3 are. And I know for a lot of people, the Metaverse feels like this weird kind of space that they can't really get into. But the aim of today is to show you just how simple it actually is. So the first place you want to go to is b20.metaverse.fund, because there you'll have all the information about the B20 token, but crucially, and this is the bit that you really want, if you scroll down to the bit that starts at Epic Bundle, the art and the builds, you will be able to go down and see the B20 museum coordinates. So here you've got Cryptovoxels, Decentraland and Somnium space, and I'm sure they'll add the Sandbox as well. It took me ages to find this morning. I knew it was there, but I couldn't find it, and it drove me nuts. Fortunately for you though, I've already done that. So we're going to take each one of these in turn and have a look at how you get in there. So let's start with Cryptovoxels. Now, Cryptovoxels is an Ethereum virtual world. Let's hope that it loads up. And when you come to cryptovoxels.com, it kind of looks a bit weird. It looks like it's almost just like a directory, but it's actually very straightforward to navigate. So all you're going to do is click on Play Now. And that will open up the Cryptovoxels player. And you'll start to hear some weird noise because there's soundtracks and things in this. And Cryptovoxels is basically just a kind of very simple Minecrafty-like world built out of voxels. And you can hear the music, and it's very easy to navigate around. So you basically use your mouse to point where you want to go or to look. And then you can use the arrow keys, or you can use the WASD, W-A-S-D, to move left and right, to move forward and backwards, and then you can just kind of look around. So it's basically like a video game. And if you want to get out of the auto V, the looking around mode, you just right click, and then you'll be able to use the mouse as per normal. To get back into viewing, you click on that. So we're going to jump out of that, and I actually copied the Cryptovoxel B20 gallery address earlier on, so we're just going to jump straight into that, and it will take us straight there. Now, while that loads, I actually wanted to have a look at voxel architects, because voxel architects are the people that designed the B20 gallery. And this is a fairly major undertaking. It's not 1, but 4 different builds. And they all kind of themed around the same idea. So it's purple and black and kind of glossy. And there's a very kind of monolithic quality to them. Big kind of industrial pink fans. And yeah, so the voxel architects are the guys who build this. They kind of specialize in metaverse builds. And if you want to do some epic build in, say, Decentraland, then these are the guys you would hire. And it feels weird that you would have architects building virtual real estate. But if you believe in the metaverse, and I genuinely do, people who do this are going to be in high demand. And it's not just because they can build fantastical buildings, but it's also because you can tear them down, reimagine them, rebuild them, remodel them extremely quickly. That's what's so amazing about it. So hopefully Cryptovoxels is now loaded. It is. So here we are. Here is the B20 gallery. And if we just look around, you can see they've got their Twitch live streaming thing here. They've got the Metapalooza logo. And if you don't know what Metapalooza is, it was the big event that they used to launch the B20 token a little while back, and that was the whole start of the journey. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just go over here, head towards the lift, and in the lift you will see a little directory in which you can jump to various places. We're going to click on floor 3, and then boom! We're now on floor 3, and here we can see Beeples. Now this just looks like an image on the wall, but it's not just an image on the wall. This is the real deal. That's the real Beeple. And oh, hello, there's somebody here. Hello, you. Yes, you're interested in Beeple as well, although your head appears to be a little bit floppy. But yes, these are the real Beeples. And as we now know, these items, hello Keanu, these items are worth a lot. They're worth a lot. And the fun thing about the B20 token is you can actually kind of own a little piece of this collection. So that's how easy it is to get into the Cryptovoxels gallery, and there's all sorts of different places to explore. Cryptovoxels itself is a very simple, straightforward world to enter. And the nice thing about it is because it's quite simple graphics, it loads really easily and it's very easy to get around. So that's Cryptovoxels. Now we're going to have a look at the Somnium one. So we go back here, we've got the Somnium coordinates here, and it's telling me down the bottom that it's 3199. But I just wanted to jump into Somnium space web, because if you have followed the last video that we did, you will have seen me interview Arthur from Somnium, and we went into his gallery, and then he took me into his 360 art piece, but we were doing the whole thing in VR. And you might just think, Somnium VR, not for me. Well, it is for you because there's Somnium Web, and Somnium Web allows you to load a parcel into your web browser, just the individual parcel, and then view it and interact with it and see it. And what we have here is the supermassive parcel, which I built and designed with the help of a man called Wilson, who's an amazing builder. And I said to him, I want a keytar tower. I want a massive tower you can see from miles away in the shape of a keytar that's kind of weird and monolithic and cool and bold. And actually, the funny thing is, it's when you see things in Somnium Web, they don't quite look the same as they do in the real Somnium. And that's sort of funky, but they have this beautiful luminescent quality, and it's just a really fun way of viewing your parcels. But also what's fun about this is that if you want to join this space, this parcel as a guest, and here I am, so now I can walk around, and it's basically the same kind of control. So you've got the WASD for moving around, and I can also teleport using the mouse key and look around. But basically, I am now in my parcel. But if I were to hook up a webcam and I was to walk around here, what would happen is my head would be a cube with a TV screen on it, and the webcam would be showing my face on that TV screen. So you have these weird people walking around with cubes on their heads, and that is, yeah, that's how you interact with Somnium Web. It's a wild experience, and the graphics, of course, are a lot more advanced and a lot more kind of sleek and silky than in Cryptovoxels, and of course that means it'll probably be harder for your PCU, your processor, I think is what I meant to say, CPU. But doesn't it look awesome? So what we're going to do now is go to the B20 Museum, where I think it's 3199. So what I have to do now is type in 3199 and wait for that to load up. It does take a little bit of time to load because, yes, you've got a lot more graphics going on. But once it is loaded, you get the full fat experience of the B20 gallery in Somnium Web. I love the way they kind of sit on these plinths, and you can spin it around and really get a sense of the full spectacle of this building. Now, in the last video that we did, the greatest NFT film ever made, I was inside here, and I went in a lift, and I went up, and I saw the gallery up here. So we can now join this as a guest, and I can do exactly the same thing. I can go in and experience the art. I'll just walk around and take myself into the lift, if I can find it. You see now it's turned into nighttime for Somnium. But this thing is wild. It gives you at least a sense, in some small way, what it's like to be there in VR. And there is no comparison really. Like, viewing these parcels in VR it's another experience altogether. So hopefully there's a lift that I'm going to be able to get on in a second. Something that's interesting about Somnium is that there aren't any teleportation devices at the moment, which means that if you go and explore Somnium, you have to actually walk from one place to another in order to experience it. So I don't think I can get on the lift at the moment. But anyway, this is a way to view the B20 gallery in Somnium Web. And if you speak to Arthur, he's always talking about the next stack of features that are coming, the next stack of different functionality that's coming either through Quest or through Somnium Web. They're updating it all the time, and there's going to be some really fantastic features coming soon. So that's Somnium Web. And the next one we're going to look at is Decentraland. Now, the reason I wanted to look at Decentraland is because, in Metaverse's own words, this is the daddy build. This is the really, really impressive one. And I think their sandbox build is also incredibly impressive from the pictures I've seen of it. Getting started on Decentraland takes a little bit longer, so we go to decentraland.org, click on Get Started, and then there's a few steps you have to go to. Wow, my computer is spinning up. It's getting hot. It's getting hot. So we click on Play, and then we have to log in with the browser, with MetaMask rather. So if you're accustomed to any Web3 application, or DApp, what's your preference, then you'll be used to signing transactions with MetaMask. We're not actually going to be having to pay anything here. There's no gas to pay. We're just signing, basically allowing Decentraland to access our wallet, but not to do anything with it, but just so we can actually play the game. It's basically a login. So now we're in. We're going to hear some cheery music. If anyone makes a GIF of that, I'll buy it. Just don't turn it into an NFT. Oh, look. Well, this dude's fly. This dude is so fly. Well, I haven't really got time to sit around. Oh, I'm going to give my avatar a name. I'm going to call him Supermassive. Why wouldn't I? And there's the end user license agreement. Yes, of course I agree to that. Does anyone actually read those? I don't think so. So now it says authentication successful. It's loading the experience. And just like with Somnium, you gotta load it. That's what's so nice about Cryptovoxels. It's just boom, and you're in. So we wait, and we wait, and we wait. But if we look at the collection, there's just so much value now tied up in this collection. And they've got some great partners there as well. I see Blau, who's helping with the music side of things, Metaverse with the production. Yeah, it's just a big, big production. I don't know exactly how much money they spent on it, but it's a lot. And we're still loading the experience. So if we look at the rationale behind building these museums, they said artwork like this needs an equally epic place to live. And that's why Metaverse built not one, but 4 separate Beeple 20 museums in Cryptovoxels, Decentraland, and Somnium space. Imagine being able to not only own some of the art in the Museum of Modern Art, but also a piece of the Museum of Modern Art itself and the land it sits on. And someone was making a point on Twitter the other day that the art itself is obviously the main attraction here. The collection and where Beeple goes next, hugely valuable. But if you are a virtual land speculator, the land itself is valuable. Just starting to see more and more interest in building metaverse only and metaverse specific economies. And I don't think we're quite there yet, but when Arthur was explaining to me, he was like, well, when I interact with you in Somnium, I'm just going to be able to exchange goods with you, trade with you freely with a simple click. And there's something pretty profound about that. And it's very, very seductive when you go into VR and you go into Somnium and you just walk around and you start to just experience the place and see it for what it is. You don't want to leave. You could hang out there for ages. So there's something kind of troubling about that, but also kind of dynamic and exciting because the very first people that speculate on the land, buy the land, and start developing it will almost certainly reap the rewards. And then others will follow. So I'm really curious to see where it's going to go. We are still loading Decentraland, and I guess we'll let it load and we'll come back when it's done. Okay, so something had gone wrong there. I reloaded the page and then it got me in. And now we are in Decentraland. And it says, welcome to the Genesis Plaza. The plaza is the heart of Genesis City. Take a look around and familiarize yourself with the world. The metaverse itself, what the implications are, is a huge subject, and it will be the subject of a future video. So I'm not going to go into that in too much detail, but woohoo! Here we are. Yes. No, I don't want to start. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. So to switch the camera view between first and third, press V. So there we go. Yes. Yes. Very good. Move around using the WASD. We're familiar with that already. So I can run, I can do all sorts of stuff. My goodness, who is this guy? It's pretty smooth. Press space to jump. Yes, fantastic. I can access the control panel. Okay, cool. Very good. So it gives you some helpful instructions to get started. Great. So what I really want is I want to go to the Decentraland gallery for... So I just copied and pasted the address, and that should take me directly to the B20 gallery. Wow. It's a little bit slow and clunky, this. But I guess if you are thinking about it in terms of an enormous virtual world that is always on and always active and always being used by people, yeah, this isn't so bad. So hopefully now, if the address was correct, we should drop straight into the Beeple gallery. What's interesting is that the world of graphics has taken a giant leap forward, especially in the last kind of 6 months with the new NVIDIA cards. The 3090, which is actually what's in our main editing unit. That's a beast, absolute beast. And I've been looking at Unreal Engine, which is just a phenomenal real-time rendering game engine. And in the world of visual effects that I come from, people are starting to use this now for real-time visual effects. And like The Mandalorian, they use Unreal Engine. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Almost there. Have to say, of all the metaverses I've tried so far, this is the slowest, but I suspect it's probably because there's more going on here, more detail than in any of the others yet. So let's see where we get to with this. Okay, and we're in. We are in. So this is the B20 gallery, and wow. First impressions are, it looks naughty. Looks really naughty. I'm loving the transparent details here. These hovering globes or whatever they are. Very elegant. And it gives you a sense of kind of like trees or something like that. What's interesting about some of the builds that you see in the metaverse is that, you know, some builders decide to go for a very kind of real world aesthetic, and some just go balls out for, you know, virtual worlds. And this is definitely in the virtual worlds category. There's echoes of Total Recall here in these massive ceiling fans. And we can just scooch around. I think there's a lift here. You can start to see that there's a design language carried through to each of these buildings. Is there a lift? Yeah. Come on, thank you. Now we're on the lift. We should be going up here into the gallery. And I want to go in here, and there we go. So you'll recognize these pink lines. Let's see. I want to go into third-person view. There we go. So you'll recognize these purple lines from the other galleries that we've seen. And here we are. Here's another Beeple that you can see. No, I don't want to do that. And once again, it's worth making the point. This is the real Beeple. This is the only one. And it's worth a lot. So that is basically how you can go and explore the whole Beeple B20 collection. Oh, I keep doing it. Why do I keep doing it? Yeah, that's basically how you can watch or experience the whole B20 collection. Now, I'll be the first to admit that there is there is a clunkiness to all of this at the moment. But the point is, this is how you display digital art in digital worlds and metaverses. And I think we're only just at the beginning of starting to see these economies come up. And what we're going to try and do at the Defiant is build in some kind of metaverse component to what we're doing. In a world where we are socially distanced, worlds like this, virtual worlds, allow you to come together and be social safely. And that is a good thing. So expect to see a lot more of us on the metaverse as we explore this space further, and of course how it folds into DeFi. But when we're talking about economies, we're talking about creating value, the metaverse is going to be a huge driver of value in the world to come. So I hope that tutorial was useful. I certainly learned a lot doing it, as we always should. And I will see you on the next one. Bye.